So lots of detail in here about the rebirth to nuclear. I want to start with just what happened in 1979 and that nuclear disaster here in the U.S. I was surprised to learn, reading your story, that even people who had been exposed in the area to what was released as a result of that, according to a study, really only received as much radiation as would happen in a chest X-ray. Less, actually, than a chest X-ray.
Significantly less.
Yeah.
So, obviously, it was a huge public relations disaster for the nuclear industry, and that led to all kinds of heightened oversight, new safety policies, lots of scrutiny. It really slowed down the nuclear industry in the U.S., and it was justifiably a disaster. People were terrified. Thousands and thousands of people fled the area, but when they eventually went and studied it and measured it, the amount of radiation that was released was not deadly. It was not huge. Mm-hmm. But just the idea of radiation is terrifying to everybody. You can't see it, you can't smell it, you can't feel it, then you don't know what's happening. It's scary.
And yet, here we are in 2026, Will, and I feel like in the last couple of years, we've done nothing. I think about that NJIT event that we did, and we did a panel up at stage and what they wanted to talk about.
2022, 2023?
It's a few years. Yeah. Nuclear, and I think it caught us by surprise. You've been talking about it and reporting it out here. Is the whole difference just the big tech community, the AI craze, and the demand for power?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, for a while, nuclear was really kind of waning, but mostly because it's expensive. These plants are big, they're complicated, they take a long time to build. Like I just said, there's tons of scrutiny. So they're expensive to build and operate. So until about 2019, 2020, 2022, they were just shutting down for economic reasons. They were just more expensive. You could get cheap natural gas, you get cheap wind and solar. But now we need electricity, and it's big tech, it's AI. These data centers just need so much electricity, and they want it as fast as they can get it, and they want as much as they can get, and nuclear can deliver a lot of power.
Well, you point out in the piece, this is not just about the United States. I mean, there are countries all over the world that moved away from nuclear. In Europe, Japan after Fukushima, and now they've all changed their minds too.
They haven't all changed their minds. Germany is
Many of them have changed their minds. Excuse me. Thank you.
I've been tracking this for a long time. There's been a huge reversal, and people really are starting to embrace nuclear. Not everyone in the world, but it's really getting a lot of acceptance. And I should point out, there's 3 Mile Island, there's Chernobyl, there's Fukushima. That's it. There have been 3 major accidents.
Well, how does that compare to...
But Chernobyl was really bad.
Chernobyl was really bad. I don't want to downplay it.
It was really bad.
Fukushima was really bad.
Fukushima was really bad, but nobody died from radiation. They died from the flooding.
But Chernobyl, we've seen, that whole area, just nothing.
Yeah, that's true.
So when it goes bad, it goes bad.
When it goes bad, it goes bad big.
Yeah.
Which is why it is so heavily regulated. And we looked at some death statistics because, let's be real. Living on this planet will kill you. If you live next to a coal power plant, you're probably, more likely to get asthma. Natural gas has things. Everything is dangerous.
So then how do you quantify that danger and those dangers from burning fossil fuels to produce electricity to using nuclear energy?
There's been some studies, and they really do come down. Coal has a lot more deaths per terawatt hour of power produced. Natural gas has more deaths. Nuclear power, even including the deaths from Chernobyl, much, much lower on the scale.
I'm going to just randomly say this, but I'm assuming you get into a car and you probably are more likely to get in an accident than a nuclear. So
that's what I mean. This planet is dangerous for us.
What I want to ask you about is Microsoft, its vast power needs, and this is kind of like the subtitle on the story and how it's bringing together 2 transformative and risky technologies. Will, I always get nervous when there is such demand and a rush and need for something that I wonder if people get sloppy in the development process. Now, I realize everybody's got to be careful because if there's one problem, it will shut down the industry again. Probably. Certainly
Fully
in the US.
legitimate question.
Okay, so what's going on that's risky?
That's a good question.
Yeah, I mean,
I mean, like you said, Chernobyl was indeed a catastrophe. With nuclear, I've been to several nuclear plants, and everywhere I go, it is just so carefully monitored and screened. But radiation does have, the potential to be dangerous, so you have to be careful.
Go ahead, Tim.
Well, what I noticed in your piece was that there was this idea that electricity demand had kind of peaked because we had become more efficient with energy usage. LED bulbs were, actually a part of that pre-2019. And then this happened. And by this, I mean the demand for AI. And I'm wondering about the possibility of overbuilding here. Because what if it turns out that all of these technologies do become more efficient, because that's the big bottleneck right now. So you have to think that that's what everybody is working toward, making this stuff more efficient. What happens if we overbuild here and we just shoot too far?
But then we spent a lot of money. Yeah, that's the question that we've been talking about. So, I mean, power demand in the U.S. has pretty much been flat for like 20-something years. And now it's going up. Like, the projections are insane on how much power we're going to need.
There's a chart in the show.
Projections are projections, though.
Exactly. So, I mean, like here in like second quarter 2026, it's not crazy higher than a year ago. But the forecast through 2030 and 2035, they are. But yeah, AI is brand new. This is like a trend I've been following for about 2 years. But if they come up with a way to make it more energy efficient all of a sudden, that is a concern. And people are like allocating billions and billions of dollars for power plants. And if they overspend, well, we'll see it in the stock price.
The next generation, though, just to wrap up here, we've talked about the SMRs, the small modular reactors, this kind of next generation of technologies. Right now, we're doing a lot of like existing facilities, getting them up and running.
There's 3.
So how long is that? And is that going to be even more efficient, more safer? But what's the timeline?
The timeline on SMR is I'm going to go with like early 2030s, maybe a couple before 2030. There's dozens of companies that are working on them. There's like maybe a half dozen company I could name that are making really solid progress, and they're not that far away.
Right.
But it's going to take some time. And the first ones are not going to be cheap.